It's your victim mentality that keeps you on the hamster wheel and keeps you in that job that you hate, that relationship you're not feeling happy in, the friendships that don't feel supportive, the living situation that just is draining you. And so when you can actually allow yourself to have the self-awareness with a non-attachment place to say, okay, where am I operating in the victim mentality? Then you can start to work with it. You have something to work with, to move towards, to move through. And so this topic of getting off the hamster wheel, it's what changed my life, is when I finally realized it. And I realized that I was going to remain on it if I continued living with the same patterns, subconscious beliefs that I was living with that were keeping me on the wheel. And so I was sitting in the airport. I had a 9-hour layover from California. I was going to Kentucky, and I was in Vegas for 9 hours. And I didn't want to go to Vegas because Vegas is too stimulating for me. It's too much. So I stayed in the airport, and I started journaling. I was like, okay, so let's just get as much perspective as we can on the topic of this hamster wheel that I'm on. I'm working in a job that is not fulfilling, but I want to get out and I want to have my own business, but I'm too tired to work towards my own business because my job is draining me. And so I stay in the job trying to grind on a business, but then I'm not putting my life force energy into my business because I'm trying to grind. And the idea of trying to grind means I'm pulling from a place that is not actually of that like soul alignment, life force chi, right? And so I was like, this cycle is how we get so stuck. And so many people are in this mindset too, where it's like, okay, I'm in it, but like when I win the lottery, then I'll be free. And they make this condition that that's the only way that they can be free, is if they have some kind of savior coming from the ethers to change their whole life. But the way to change your life is to choose that you're going to change your life, and to decondition your mind and to let go of your old way of being, right? You've heard, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. And so how could you expect that you are going to break this cycle if you just keep doing what you're doing? And so when I finally looked at that, and I was like, okay, where am I, feeling bad for myself? I was feeling bad that I was on this. I wasn't getting paid what I wanted to be paid. I was feeling bad for myself for being mistreated in my job. I was feeling bad that I was, grinding so hard and nothing would ever work. I would invest all this money into businesses like Amazon businesses, and I would spend thousands of dollars on products and follow all the gurus and promise that I was going to be financially free, but then it just didn't happen, and I was just falling down that victim mentality, and that fed into the conditioning that kept me controlled and kept me stuck. And so I had to really look at the cycle and look at how the ego is involved in that too. Like, the ego loves being the victim, and it's much better at identifying where it can be the victim rather than saying, where am I wrong? Where are my beliefs wrong? Where are my patterns wrong? Where are they not true? Where have I been programmed by other people, by society, by my parents, by my ancestors, by the media that I watch? And when will I choose to do something different? And so the ego doesn't do that. It has to be something within you. You have to have that determination, that resilience, that resourcefulness to decide to bring that awareness around the truth of who you are and the truth of the stories that you're telling yourself. And so I don't recommend just jumping without a branch to swing to. I've even looked at my own human design, gene keys, astrology, all these different modalities, and one of them, I forget which one, said, like, I'm the type of person, I think it was within my human design, that does not do best if I swing without another branch to grab to. And so I was even holding on to that story. But when the opportunity presented to me 4 days later, after I wrote all this down in the airport, and then I was in Kentucky on my dad's farm, horse farm with a bunch of dogs, just like I am here right now, which is so interesting, I had the opportunity to quit my job because I believe that the work that I was doing and the decisions that I was making to have a different life, to have a different timeline, allowed this perceived reality to manifest in a way that was my boss telling me I had to come in every single day to the office, drive to LA once a week, which would be 6 hours of driving within that day or more because of the traffic. And so I said, you know what, I quit. And that's when I was beginning to quit my job, and I never went back to the office after that trip. That was the end of it there. And so I decided to jump without another branch, to swing to. And I decided to do that with the complete knowingness that I am this infinite being having this human experience, and I can have any reality that I want by a matter of knowing that it's possible for me, by a matter of no longer believing in this victim mentality, in this victim story, that I am a slave to society, that the conditioning within my mind is too powerful, that I don't know how to break free, and how could I ever break free? Like, I need a better job, and then a better business, and then I can jump, and then eventually I'll get free. I decided to let go of all the programs within my mind, all the patterns that were keeping me in an unhappy place. And I understand that some people don't have the ability within their realities to do that the way that I did it. Like, maybe you have kids, maybe you have other attachments. For me, before, I had a chronic illness, and I just wasn't able to make that leap yet because I had treatments and I had all these medical bills to pay. And I finally was in a place where I could do that. And everything is in divine timing. I wanted to do it earlier, but there were lessons that I had to still learn. And I think we can speed up that process by learning the lessons quicker, but I didn't learn them quicker. Everything happened the way that it was meant to. And so by finally saying, no, I'm in control of my reality to some extent, like, I get to choose and co-create my existence, and whenever it is not favorable, it is in my control to change whatever my response is to it. You can see where your subconscious is right now and where you are in your evolution by looking at your circumstances, looking at how you are feeling about your circumstances. Are you feeling a lot of fear? Are you feeling a lot of abandonment? Are you feeling a lot of lack? Are you feeling a lot of things that do not feel like your highest potential? And that's what's resonating within your subconscious, within your field, and so you can change it. A lot of the tools that I use to do this are EFT tapping, hypnosis, brain retraining meditations, things that are in my 21-day program to rewire your mind, and also tapping into my divine guidance. So I have 21 days to know your divine guidance. And so between those two things that I really focused on within this time period, I was able to finally get to a place where I was just going to go for what my heart was telling me to go for, what my divine team was telling me to go for. And that was to never get another job working for another person, not to do another 9-to-5 ever, and to go travel. That's what I always wanted to do. And that was hard because I was like, well, you know, I'm in this really beautiful house, I have my community, I live in California, like, I like it here, but it's not what my soul wanted to do. My ego said, this is what looks good. You should keep this because this is what looks good. And then I started telling my stories of like, well, how could I make it happen? How could I travel on my own? How could I make money on the road? How could I do van life? And I started doing those stories, and I was like, those are not mine. What I know to be true is that I'm an infinite being having a human experience, and I get to choose what I want, and there are infinite possibilities, and I get to select within the quantum field what I want, and then it is mine. And so yeah, within that I do take risks. I take risks, but I do so with the knowing that I have the ability to rewire my mind, that I have the ability to decondition my mind and to let go of old patterns. If you just jump, but you still have all those patterns that tell you you're going to live in lack, that tell you you are unstable, insecure, that you are not safe, that, you know, things don't work out for you, that everything is always hard for you and easier for other people. If you have these patterns within you, that can create a storm if you just leap without identifying and working through those things as well. So I encourage you to look at the stories that you're telling yourself, at the ways that the ego is keeping you in this victim mentality, at the ways that the subconscious is trying to keep you safe. The subconscious wants to keep you safe. It does not want you happy. It is not supporting you in living your highest, most optimal timeline of health, happiness, abundance, love. It is trying to keep you safe. And it will create many, many, many different scenarios to keep you safe, in order to keep you in the things that, away from the things that you fear, away from the things that are unfamiliar. For example, because this is my example that I can think of that I've experienced, like moving to a foreign country by myself with my dog, and leaving behind my home and selling everything that I owned and loved, that was very, very unfamiliar. And so my subconscious in many ways was telling me it's not safe, it's not safe. It was trying to send me different things, like try to bring me back to chronic illness. And I was like, no, we're not going to go on that path anymore. I don't need chronic illness to hold me back from what I want to be doing. I choose to embrace the unknown. I choose that I am safe in the unknown. I choose that I always anticipate good things happening within the unknown. I choose to live in a life where I embrace the unknown. And so when I did that, these random symptoms that I was having, like a massive lump in my armpit, which I think was a stress thing in my lymph node, these things, they went away. I was like, okay, fine. She's not going to live in this sphere. She's not going to play small anymore. And I worked with my subconscious in order to move towards what I want to be doing. I had no idea that it would bring me to a horse farm in Italy, but it's the most amazing timeline that I could imagine in this chapter of life, in this current perceived reality. So that's the message for today. I do have some other news for you guys, which is very, very sad, but it's okay. If you know me, and if you know my dog Arlo, he's in the van right now. He was bit by a dog yesterday, and he's okay. It wasn't a puncture wound. It did open up his skin quite a bit, and so he needed 12 stitches. So I'll show you guys him right now. He's just resting and recovering. He was up all night crying because of the pain from it. The sedation started to wear off, and so I'm just very, very, very grateful that he's okay. That, everything could have been much worse, and we're going to move more and more towards creating safer methods for doing everything here on the farm, because I think there's over 50 dogs on the farm, maybe way more than that if you consider the dogs in the house too, and they're rescue dogs, and so they have their past, their own subconscious patterns, their own traumas, and they aren't in the same consciousness that we're in, and so they're storing a lot of things, and so this dog just has things within him that make him not good with other new dogs, and so Arlo is just like a ball of pure joy and bliss, and does not understand that about other dogs, and just ran by him, and the dog not even took a chunk, but caught his tooth, and Arlo tried to bite him, and then it ripped because Arlo kept running. And it all happened very, very quick. I don't think Arlo even associated that it was a dog that did that to him. He is just so happy, and so it's my job to keep him safe and to take that into account, that he isn't aware of his surroundings like that. He is intuitive in his own way, but I really think that he came to Earth to bring the vibes. Like, he's just so happy, and I think that's his gift to my life and to this earth. Like, people, wherever we're walking, they just smile because he's just bouncing around, and I love him so much. And so it was a hard evening, hard night, but also so grateful. So I'll show you guys. So we have Arlo here. My baby boy. I'm so sorry. Can I show them? Oh, he's laying on them. Can we scoot over? So he has these staples there. Oh, you look so tough. I'm so sorry, baby. Yeah. So that's how Arlo's doing. I've been giving him some CBD. That seems to help with the pain significantly, because he was crying until I think like 4 a.m. And I was like, oh, I have those CBD things from when we traveled here. And I gave him that, and then I also put on the frequency. I forget what it was. It was like 117 or something, but on YouTube I looked up a pain relieving frequency, and as soon as I played that, he fell asleep, and we slept for a few hours, which was really nice. And I got good sleep too, even though I only had 4 hours total of sleep because I have my Aura ring. I still had an 82 as my readiness score, and so my HRV was 108, which is relatively high compared to what I normally have. I don't know, I'm usually, if I'm really trying, like I can get up to like 110, 120, but to have 110 while having that kind of night last night was incredible. And I think that the frequencies made a big difference. So the reminder to myself and to you that maybe it can be beneficial to you to include some healing frequencies into your sleep. I know that like 432 is good. Oh, actually, the other ones too. You can look up all the different frequencies, different ones for different reasons, like abundance and health and happiness and love and blah, blah, blah. I ordered sound bowls. And so I had to sell I chose to sell my sound bowls before moving to Europe because they're big and I couldn't bring them. But I ordered some to come here, and I will start playing them for you guys if you would like. And we can do some guided sound bath meditations. And they're 432 hertz, which is very, very good. So I'm thinking of like closing off this area a bit, the working zone area, because we have like other van lifers come this way. But if I could make a little studio behind my van where I play the bowls, I think that would be nice. I can also go play in the arena by the horses or up in a field or wherever, but it would be nice to have like a set place to play them with the view here, if you can see. I'll show you my outdoor shower and then I will leave you. So I built this outdoor shower so that heats up from the sun, and then I went and I got some, I'm like walking barefoot here, but I built this and it actually supports my life. Those sticks and the bricks, somehow it's very sturdy, I promise. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you like this message, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here. Please leave a comment. If you don't know what to say, just say feel better Arlo, or we love you Arlo. I love him so much, and he's gonna be okay. It's just stitches, not puncture, so it's very, very good. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Okay, wait, there is one more thing that I need to add, and I was just taking an outdoor shower because it's actually very nice right now. It's been like raining and then getting sunny and then raining, but we almost have enough for the horses. So one of my wonderful clients donated 2,000 last night to through PayPal, so it's not showing in the GoFundMe, and then we got another 2,000 donation privately, and so we have 8,000, I believe, plus the 4,500 for Ladybug. And so with her offer as 3,000, and with all of that additional, we're going to offer that amount for the 5 horses. So for the 4 additional horses that we're raising money for, additional with Ladybug, of course. So when our Italian speaking friend, volunteer, employee, kind of however we want to say that, when she gets back here to the farm on Sunday, we are going to have her put in that official offer and say we're ready to give you the money now. So hopefully this week we will have all the horses here and they will be living on the farm for the rest of their life, and Ladybug will have her forever home. It all started with Ladybug, and now the rest of her family gets to stay here too. I hope. We'll see if it all goes well. So thank you guys for your donations. We'll see if we have to continue raising that additional 2,000. It's very possible, but we can't know for sure yet. Anything that is donated over will go to the care of these animals for their feed and medicine and all the things that go into making sure that they are happy and healthy. So thank you if you want to continue donating, and I will keep you guys updated on what happens. This has been such an incredible journey to go on with you guys, so thank you again, and thank you. Bye.